r/ChoosingBeggars. Someone who walked out on their bill called the restaurant the next day, to ask for their server to be fired in lieu of paying their bill. Story by DopeYeti. Enjoy! My coworker, Sarah name changed, had a walkout last night. All walkouts suck, but this one was very different. The table that walked out included 3 20-something-year-olds, 2 guys and a girl. The girl happened to go to high school with my coworker who was serving them. The two spent a good portion of the night catching up, having a good time, and everything was going smoothly. After ordering $80 worth of food and drinks, the table walked out on their bill. Sarah was pissed. Since we scan and save IDs at my bar, we permanently flag anyone who has walked out on their tab and ban them from re-entry, unless of course they come back to pay their tab and apologize for their lapse in judgment. The ID saving system is also linked with other bars in the city that use the same brand. So if someone were to be banned from our bar, all other participating bars would be notified and able to ban them as well. Sarah figured she'd message this girl on Facebook and let her know she should come back and pay her bill to save her from that major inconvenience, instead of telling her that she was a huge piece of shit, but my coworker kept it cordial. The girl never responded to my friend. The next day, however, the girl who walked out called the restaurant asking to speak to the manager. My manager, a seasoned vet who doesn't take shit from anyone, answered the phone. Every morning he reads over the log from the night before, so he knew of everything that went down, including the walkout. However, he wasn't aware that Sarah had messaged this girl on Facebook. The girl proceeded to log a complaint about a server who waited on her the previous night. "Your server Sarah found me on social media and harassed me. It was really unprofessional and I'm super creeped out by it. You shouldn't employ people who stalk their customers and send them threatening and offensive messages." My manager, somewhat shocked at first, was about to find out more information about this cyber harassment, but remembered that Sarah was the server with the walkout from the night before. "I apologize if you felt uncomfortable by one of our server's actions, but harassment sounds unusual for Sarah. She is one of our best servers." What exactly did Sarah say in these messages? She said I needed to come in and pay my tab or she would ban me from every bar in the city and I'd never be able to eat out again. My manager paused. "What do you think she meant by, pay your tab?" "Well, we didn't pay for our tab." Completely blown away, my manager didn't know how to respond. "So, I'm going to need you to pay for your tab," and here is where this girl went from complete idiot to a complete idiot trying to be a delusional CB. "Well, I am not paying for our tab now. No way. I'm not going to give money to a restaurant who employs people who harass customers. I'm honestly so scared and creeped out that I'm going to call the police. Actually, the only way I won't call the police is if you promise you're going to fire this server. So, you're not going to pay a tab that you walked out on? No. Are you even listening to me? You guys should be paying me for what I went through. You should be lucky that all I'm asking for is for this server to be fired, so I won't call the police." To buy some time to unpack the crazy my manager just heard, he told this chick that he'd talk it over with his supervisors and he would call her back. Sarah happened to be working that day, so he asked to see the Facebook messages. Sarah sent this girl exactly one message that said, "Hey, you walked out on your tab with me. You can come in and pay it tomorrow. Just make sure you come in because the ID system will ban you from our place and maybe some other bars if you don't pay." My manager called this psycho back. "Ma'am, I just read the messages Sarah sent you on Facebook. Sarah was trying to help you. We ban people from our bar who walk out on their tabs. So, when would you like to pay for the $80 plus an added 20% gratuity?" No. Sarah should have never messaged me in the first place. My social media profile is private. I want her fired. "Well, that's not happening, and we'll be banning you and your friends if you don't pay for your bill." The girl was screaming at this point, "I'm calling the police for harassment and piracy. You looked at my private messages. I'm not paying." My manager, laughing in complete shock, "Okay. Go for it. Tell them we'd love to talk to them too. Enjoy your day. I'll never come here again." Yeah, that's the idea. See how long you stay in business when you drive off your non-paying customers. I would be mortified walking out on a bill, especially when it's someone I knew. None of those people felt it necessary to pay. Yikes. I just couldn't do it. Knucking futs. Trashy. Sarah did what? Oh, she is fired for sure. I'd like to fire her in front of you just to see the stupid look on her face. Come in today at 3 p.m. for a meal and drinks on me as an apology and a heck of a good show seeing someone get their comeuppance, then have the cops waiting for her when she shows up. r/ChoosingBeggars. My Choosing Beggars story from over 20 years ago. Story by Shitty Start to 2017. Enjoy! Yes, CBs have been around for at least that long. So here's the story. In the mid-90s, I started up a small business selling servers, desktops, laptops, and doing basic office networking, connecting offices to the internet, setting up their email domains and servers. Fun stuff. It was just me at the time. Anyway, about 2 to 3 years in. Somehow, I make connection with a potential sales lead, the local owner of a small accounting firm. If I had to guess, they maybe had 50 to 100 employees. He had an idea where he wanted to provide an online system for his clients to review confidential documents, taxes and stuff, and I had enough familiarity with web servers, still relatively new in the mid-90s, and RSA's Secure ID two-factor auth suite, that I felt pretty confident I could build the system for him. Doing something with 2FA back in those early days would be really cool. So I was kind of excited about the project. We agree to meet so that I can dig into the requirements he has in mind. So we meet at his office. Nice enough place. Not terribly fancy, but not shabby either. You'd be perfectly comfortable letting these folks handle your finances. CB owner and I sit down in the main conference room, and I start going through all sorts of questions to gather requirements from him. After about 10 to 15 minutes, I think I have a good enough sense of what he wants. So, I told him that since I'm sure he was busy, I didn't need to take up any more of his time. And that I had enough to at least go and build an initial quote and let him know what this will all cost him and what the turnaround time would be. That's when it all began. He spends the next few minutes talking about some National Accountants Association, and how he is the president of the association. And that he's just absolutely certain that if other accounting firms found out about this, they would want systems like that too. Oh, that's cool, I thought to myself initially. He's offering to helping me find even more business, huh? Boy, was I kidding myself. That's when the other shoe dropped. CB owner basically says, well, because I'm president of the association and this could get you a lot more business, I wasn't really planning to pay for this system. Or something to that effect. He was more tactful than I'm rephrasing it, but his intention was clear. So let's be clear, CB owner wanted me to buy servers, storage, networking gear, etc. out of my own pocket. And basically give that all to him, along with my time to integrate all the components to build this 2FA secure financial document system. And just give it all to him for exposure. I was hungry for business, and honestly, if he had at least offered to pay for the gear so that I wasn't out of pocket any dollar, I might have considered it, because it really would have been a cool project in the mid-90s. But once it became clear he didn't even want to pay for the gear, I simply let him know that clearly we've had a significant misunderstanding of each other in our conversations to date. And that I didn't need to waste any more of his time, and that I won't be sending a quote since he obviously didn't want one. Couldn't believe he wasted my time like that. And I'd totally forgotten about that story until I found this sub a couple months ago. Sounds like you got the AUG exposure offer. This man was ahead of his time. That does sound like a cool project for the 90s though. It's funny how nowadays you would just provision Azure servers, services to build a system like that rather than having to buy all sorts of equipment. You are an absolute legend for making it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button. And if you can't get enough, consider subscribing. See you around.